Hello, everybody, and welcome to another week of the Cover 4 podcast. And it's finally thawed out in Tahlequah after some snow and ice, and now 53 degrees here in Tahlequah. The snow's melting, had some rain, but now it's looking a little bit better. Supposed to be some better weather this next week. And Randy Gibson out in Provo saying, "Hey, I'm ready for this warm weather," showing some beach stuff behind him.
Oh man, Jim, I'll tell you, I've heard about the horrendous winter weather you guys have been going through back home. And we've had a lot of snow out here, especially up in the mountains, of course. And it's kind of gotten into the 40s here. So it feels pretty good out for us.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready for some beach weather. That's why you see me sitting in front of a beach. I am wishing that this is where I actually was at the
Yes.
moment.
Yep. And supposed to be 50s and maybe 60s while you're in town. I know you're coming in tomorrow.
I am flying in for the next week and I'm ready to get home for a little while. And I'm glad to have some warm weather. I'm glad I wasn't out there this past week with you guys because I guess it was pretty brutal. So maybe me
Well,
coming into town and I'm going to enjoy some 60-degree weather. That's for sure.
it was brutal. In fact, I had to opt out of the Arkansas Texas A&M game last Tuesday night. I couldn't make it over there,
Mm.
and I was glad I didn't go to that game. Uh, it lasted 2 hours and 38 minutes, no overtime.
Oh my word.
Uh, had Terry Oglesby, uh, Doug Shows, and Orlandis Poole were the three officials. They got whistle happy second half. They
Oh,
had
jeez.
32 fouls in the second half.
Oh my gosh.
No flow in the second half. It was almost 10:45 when the game was over. And then I did the game Saturday against South Carolina, and it wasn't pretty at all. Not only for the Hogs, but for myself included. Uh, Hogs got beat by South Carolina, and got some bad food down in the media room,
Oh no.
and I toughed it out. And by the time I got back home, uh, I was seeing our friend Earl the Porcelain God.
Oh, geez.
So, but
That's too bad.
I'm
Hate to hear
finally
that.
feeling a whole lot better than I did Saturday about 5:30. But it was uh, it was a rough 36 hours. I'm tell you
Mm.
that right now. But now I'm back on the mend, and I'm finally feeling like myself again. So, but basketball is pretty much the topic today. Start off high school. Uh,
Yeah.
Tahlequah, the boys and girls split up at Claremore Friday night, or check that last night. Uh, Boys got beat 67-65 against the Zebras, but
Oh, tough
girls
loss.
girls blew out Claremore 72-21.
Oh
Boy,
my word.
that is odd
Wow.
for Claremore to be down like that. They've always had some pretty good girls teams up there, but to get beat 50 by Tahlequah at home, that tells you that Tahlequah
Ooh.
is playing very, very good. They're probably going to be a top four seed. We'll know that in a couple of weeks when they release the bracket for the upcoming 5A East Division playoffs. So this is one of those ball games you wish that Oklahoma had the rule that they do in Arkansas. If it's 30 or more at the end of three quarters, it's continuous clock in the final quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And I think ORES, which is the rule schools, they've got that rule, and I think it's
Mm-hmm. I believe
25.
they do. Mm-hmm.
So the activity association and the coaches need to look at that.
Yeah,
Uh,
they really do, because there's just no coming back from that,
no,
honestly. And
no.
there's
And
no sense to just make it worse.
yeah, even though you've got the new rule now with the fouls, where they reset the fouls at the start of every quarter, uh, it would make things a whole lot better.
It
You get
would.
the game done in 8 minutes, and then you're in good shape. Uh, they're back home Friday night to take on the Grove Ridge Runners. Girls game at 6, guys at 7:30 up at the T-Mac. So if you want to go up and see Tahlequah play, you got your opportunity Friday night since you're in town.
I'll be in town. Yeah, it might be a fun place to go hang out.
Might be. Uh, Taking a look at other teams around, at least what I can find. Keys, they went to Westville last night, defeated the Lady Jackets 38-30, and the boys won 65-25. Now, Westville is down this year after making some really good runs. In fact, made the state tournament a couple of times, but they graduated pretty much everybody. So Ron Dunaway is rebuilding over there at Westville. But Keys right now, they are girls are 9-6 under their head coach Cruz Lynch. They're ranked 16th in the state in Class 3A, and Sequoia's girls are 18th. They're currently 7-9 on the season. The boys are 13th in the state in 3A, and that's according to OSSArankings.com. That is done by the coaches. Coaches do the rankings. It's not media driven. So it's the coaches doing the rankings. And right now, Greg Barnes, he's 12-3 out there at Keys.
Wow. Hey, they're doing pretty good. I
Yeah,
wasn't really expecting that, to be honest with you.
yeah, they'll be a team that could possibly host a district.
Mm-hmm.
That will come up, like I say, in about a week or two for them. They have not released the brackets for A and B yet. That will probably come out possibly as early as Friday, because A and B starts earlier because their state tournament's a week earlier than everybody else. So,
Hmm.
speaking about the state tournament and the regional for Tahlequah, this will be the first year of this. No more sudden death in the first round.
Really?
So it's now true double elimination all the way through. The boys will play Thursday. You win, you play on Friday. In fact, everybody plays Friday. They'll play 6 and 7:30 on Thursday. The losers play at 6. The winners play at 7:30. If you win, you go to the area, and if you lose, then you got to go to the losers bracket game, and that would be played on Saturday, and that would be at 7:30 on Saturday for the right to go on to the area the next week. So something new uh, that the coaches wanted. They didn't like. They didn't want the sudden death in the first round anymore, and it probably helps the OSSAA because let's face it, the basketball is the moneymaker for the OSSAA.
Mm-hmm. It
There's
is.
no doubt about that. So an extra few games uh, helps their pocketbook and gets the referees 2 games uh, with the games on Friday and Saturday. The girls will play Tuesday night, and then they will go Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. But the Friday games will be 2 and 3:30, whereas the games on Tuesday will be 6:30. Excuse me, 6 o'clock and 7:30, and then 3:30 on Friday, and then on Saturday would be 6 o'clock. So they'll play an afternoon session and a night session on Fridays, and it will not be matched up. The boys and the girls will be in separate places, just like they've been. So Tahlequah will probably host a girls' regional, but look for the boys to have to travel somewhere. And they'll probably have like a 8, 9, 7, 10 game as far as rankings is concerned. They won't have to face the one of the top 4. So that's a good thing. Again, the districts will be out for the remainder of the classes 4A through B. A and B probably this Friday, possibly next Friday, we'll know 2A, 3A, 4A. So we'll touch on that probably in a couple of weeks. So as far as on the college front, NSU, they got to go on the road this week, but at least it's short trips. They head to Joplin tonight to take on the Missouri Southern Lions at Leggett and Pratt Center there in Joplin. Games are 5:30 and 7:30, and then travel to Pitt State, take on the Gorillas. Those are 1:30 and 3:30 ball games. NSU, the men fell twice this week at home. They lost to Central Missouri 55-45, and then lost to Lincoln 63-49 in the Blue Tigers' final appearance here in Tahlequah as they moved to the Great Lakes Valley Conference next year. And then the team that will replace them will be Arkansas Fort Smith. They will get out of the Lone Star Conference and will become new members of the MIAA next year. So they're going to be the replacement in every sport with the exception of football, because UA Fort Smith does not have football.
Interesting.
So they'll be back home for 3 straight. They'll play Emporia on the 1st. They'll take on Washburn on the 3rd, then have a Thursday off before facing the Roger State Hillcats on the 10th. That'll be their longest homestand of the season, at least in the conference. The girls, on the other hand, they split. They ran into the 17th ranked Jennies of UCM. They got beat 65-51, but then registered a 67-54 win on Saturday against Lincoln. So they split their 2 games, and a win tonight or Saturday will give NSU women their 10th win of the season. And it'll be the first time the Lady Reds will have won double digits since 2017-18 under then head coach Randy Gibson, Larry Gibson's brother.
Right. That's Gibson with a P, not a B. So
Right.
Not me.
Yep, that is correct. And they've won 4 of their last 6 in the MIAA after starting 1-4. So real good chance that the girls might accidentally make a trip to historic Municipal Auditorium up in Kansas City for the MIAA tournament. So that'd be good. So, like I say, they'll be home as well. They'll be home for 3 straight as well, just like the guys, starting up on February 1st after these 2 road games. If you want to listen to the game, you can listen to it. GoRiverhawksGo.com is the NSU website, so you can listen to NSU basketball. I don't know if they send somebody up there to do the games or they'll pick up the broadcast from the home team. That'll be tonight, beginning at 5:30. Talk a little college basketball on the other colleges. Well, your Sooners went down
Oh man.
to UT last night at home. Everybody
Yes.
was jacked, and
Yes.
second half did the Sooners in.
Totally fizzled out. I mean, fans were fantastic. People all across are looking forward to this game. Of course, we never want to lose anything to the University of Texas, but Oklahoma, undefeated at home, riding a wave of momentum, ranked number 11 in the country, totally was a no-show, especially in that second half, totally fizzled out. Got beat 75-60. Very disappointing loss for Coach Porter Mosier and the team. He was very disappointed. Fans were disappointed. Fans leaving the Lloyd Noble Center, from what I heard, shaking their heads, ready to go across town and pick up their pitchforks and for sale signs to take back across town. Bob Stoops, the program guy himself, came out on X, formerly known as Twitter, urging the Sooner Nation to keep the faith with the team, urging them to show back up this Saturday when they take on number 20 Texas Tech. But very disappointing loss for the Sooners. The fans were come out in full force. Everybody was ready for this game. A win over Texas could have really gave them a good push into the final weeks coming up into March. Wasn't to be, unfortunately. So we'll see where they head now, if they're going to go in a downward spiral or if they can bounce back from it and keep pushing.
Yeah, another team in the Big 12 is struggling is Oklahoma State.
Yeah, surprising.
That is
very
surprising. They lost 74-69 to TCU, and they're still looking for their first win in the league. And they've got West Virginia coming in on Saturday to GIA minus Huggy. Because, Bob Huggins is no longer the head coach at West Virginia. So,
right.
So maybe Mike Boynton and them can find that first win of the season. But boy, it's been tough for them. It's about as tough for them as Arkansas. They played South Carolina Saturday. That's a game I had. Arkansas has been hot and cold, more cold than hot, and it's mainly the defense. I mean, the defense is like Swiss cheese right now. And Eric Musselman is pulling his hair out. He uses the portal a lot. And for some reason, don't know why, but this bunch just has not bought in like the previous ball clubs, like last year's was really good. But this year they're 10-8. They're on a downward slide there at Oxford tonight against Ole Miss, against Chris Beard, who used to be at Texas and Texas Tech. He's now in Oxford as their head coach. Then they come back home Saturday, and they better get ready because here comes Coach Cal and Kentucky. Now you want the icing on the cake and the cheddar on the cheese?
Yeah, let's have it.
College game day will be at BWA Saturday.
Are you serious?
I am dead serious. They announced it Saturday.
Wow.
and full day game day crew will be there. They're
Wow.
bringing in a production truck. I don't get to work the game. In fact, none of us get to work the game. They're bringing in a full crew. They're going to beam this sucker from Fayetteville back to Charlotte,
Oh my gosh.
and the crew is going to be uh, based out of Charlotte, with the exception of the OSTAT guy, who will be where I usually sit behind the band. Uh,
Yeah.
the talent stat guy sitting with Dan Schulman and Jay Billis. Uh, Reese Davis will be there. I mean, it's the whole kit and caboodle Saturday morning from the basketball palace of Mid America, Bud Walton Arena in Fayetteville.
Oh, how fun it would be to be there Saturday morning. I'm going to be across the state of Oklahoma in Norman. Otherwise, I
Uh-huh.
would make my way to Fayetteville.
That would be you and me would have to make a trip, and then I'd have to show you where I do my stuff from.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah,
Most definitely.
I think next year, I think we're going to have to make plans when the women are home, because basketball's for the men. That's the toughest ticket to get outside of baseball. You could sit next to me. I mean,
That'd be
nobody
fantastic.
else. The girl that does the uh, content for uh, the Razorback website, they don't sit there with me during the women's games. So you could sit right next to me, see me with my headset on, talking to
That'd be fantastic.
production, and the it only costs $10 if anybody wants to go watch a Arkansas basketball game, women's game. They will play at home. Costs $10. You can get online or get there before the ball game. I think it still costs 10. It may cost maybe a couple of bucks extra if you get it there at the door. So it's not too bad to do it that way. So,
Hmm.
but anyway,
That's a good way to spend a Saturday afternoon for sure,
Sunday afternoon
or Sunday afternoon. Sorry, I got my days mixed up a little
or
bit.
Thursday night. They play
Yeah,
Thursday, Sunday for the girls, and so it's really good. So, but the other team, well, University of Tulsa, they're off tonight. They get to play the Rice Owls Saturday before they play Wichita State next Wednesday night at the Reynolds Center. As you're flying back from Tulsa back to Salt Lake City, I'll be making
hmm,
that drive too. You might even see me. I don't know what time your flight is, but 6 o'clock tip next Wednesday night at the Reynolds Center. Game will be on ESPNU. Don't know who the crew is going to be for that game, but I get to do a TU game uh, next Wednesday night. Uh,
outstanding.
that's
And we may be headed up 412 at about the same time. It sounds like.
Well, I don't go 412. I'll go Muskogee and hit the turnpike, and then
Ah,
get off on Harvard and come straight up Harvard up to 8th Street, and that's where the rental center
kind
is
of
at.
go that way.
Yep.
Yeah, headed to the airport. 412 is our best way to go.
Yep. I use that too whenever I get ready to head to the United States Bowling Congress Open Championships. And that tentatively, well, it's not tentatively, it's set in stone. I'm bowling with the Phoenix bunch again, and
Good.
I would leave out on the 16th of July, and then the bad thing is we bowl 9:30 at night for team event, get about 4 hours of sleep, and then bowl 7 o'clock in the morning on Thursday morning. So
Very good.
tough. That's the tough part. You bowl 3, you throw your stuff in the locker, go back to the room about 1. Alarm will go off about 5:15.
Yep.
Get your stuff on, get the bowls out of the locker, get in the squad room about those 6:15. Throw a few balls on the stub lane, get your picture taken on the stub, uh, donate my $200, 100 in doubles and 100 in singles and brackets, and
Yep.
hopefully myself and Kyle O'Meara, who is the going to be my doubles partner again. We bowled back in 21 there at Vegas. This was the
Very
COVID
good.
year, after COVID year, and unfortunately, we had to wear masks while we were
Oh,
bowling, and we didn't get to bowl in the tournament plaza, what they call it. We had to bowl in the regular bowling center for doubles and singles there at South Point Casino there in Las Vegas. And so Kyle and I are going to bowl again. And congratulations to him and Vanessa, his bride. They just had twins Monday.
oh, how fun.
Uh,
Congrats.
and
Congrats to
one,
them.
one of each.
Oh, even better.
Uh,
Even better.
Charlie, uh, let's see, what is her? Her first name is Charlie. Her middle name, I'm,
Love
I'm,
it.
I'm getting blanked mainly because uh, my Griffin Mateus, him and Atana, they got a little girl. Her name is Charlie Jesse. Charlie George. No, Charlie. Well, crumbs. Let me find. Oh, let me get to Kyle here. He can tell me real quick. I've got him on Facebook. That no, I want Kyle O'Meara. Here he is. Oh, do. Charlie Rose, spelled Charli Rose, is their new daughter, and his new son is Dominic George.
Charlie and
Last
Dominic.
name O'Meara. Don't know how much they weighed, but there's let's see if I can.
Oh,
There's
how sweet. Yeah, how
there's the
cute.
picture of them.
Got them looking at each other already.
Yep, and they are they live in Phoenix. He works for the Waldorf Astoria there in Phoenix.
Oh, wow.
So he does something over there. I don't know what his job is, but him and Vanessa with two little ones. Hopefully, I'll see him come July. They'll be about close to 6 months old. So,
Oh,
and my better, if Kyle happens to look at my page, I would advise getting some earmuffs for both of them because you've got 60 lanes of bowling going on. I
yeah.
don't think they would like the crash of bowling pins for 3 hours.
No, no, especially those little tender, brand new
Yeah.
eardrums. I wouldn't. I
Yes.
wouldn't advise that at all. I would
Oh,
definitely get them some little earmuffs and put over
yep.
there
Uh,
for sure.
Talking about that TU ball game, uh, I forgot about this. The guy who was the head coach at ORU, Paul Mills, he's now the head
Yeah.
coach at Wichita State
Oh, when did that happen?
this year.
Very interesting.
So he's up there. He's been at Wichita this year. This is his first season up there. And also, when the Golden Hurricane, they're currently 10-8, but 1-5 in the American, and their lone win was against UTSA, and they broke out the gold uniforms in that game.
Oh, yeah.
The not the bright gold; they're kind of like an old gold with blue,
Okay.
lettering
Okay.
and numbers. Looks sharp, and
Yeah.
they might bring those out. TU has on occasion went back into the Wayback Machine. You remember when the Rubber Band Man played for TU,
You better believe it.
Paul
Absolutely.
Pressey,
Yep.
Bill Spradling, that bunch,
Yep.
they have even come back and wore those old, wild tiger stripe uh, jerseys. You remember those that they
Yep.
wore back in the 80s when they were
Yep.
rolling with Nolan?
Rolling with Nolan, man.
Mhm.
NIT and all that stuff. NIT
Yep.
champions one year, and then went to the big dance.
NCAA's. Yep.
It
Yep.
sure did. Everybody around northeastern Oklahoma was excited about that.
Yes, they were. Nolan is the only coach to win a JUCO national title, an NIT, and an NCAA championship.
Yeah, he was a good coach. I remember he went over to Arkansas, wasn't it?
Yep,
Didn't
he
he
was.
go
That's where he
there?
got the NCAA. Was at
Yeah,
Arkansas,
that's what I thought. He
and
remember how disappointed everybody around Tulsa was that he was making the move over to Arkansas because we didn't
yeah,
want to lose him at Tulsa.
they couldn't pay him.
No, shoot, no. Not
They,
compared Tulsa to Arkansas basketball.
yep, and they have done the right thing over there. It does on the court. It is emblazoned just to the right of center court. And it says Nolan Richardson Court.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's good.
And we're talking about football.
Yeah,
Well,
football news already.
yeah, I've got some football news, and it comes from north of the border.
Hmm.
That means we're talking about a guy we saw when he played high school football just up the road on Highway 82 up at Locust Grove. Mason Fine has
Yeah,
been playing for the green and white of the Saskatchewan Roughriders in the Canadian Football League. Well, went on Riderville.com. That's the website for the Riders. And he has re signed a 2-year extension with the Rough Riders.
outstanding. Good for him.
Terms not disclosed, but if you remember, he left, graduated Locust
Yep.
Grove,
Yep.
went and played for now co-OC Seth Luttrell at North Texas.
Right.
He started 4 games for the Riders this past season after their starting quarterback, Trevor Harris, suffered a knee injury and was lost for the remainder of the season. So he started 4 games, completed 94 passes for 1,043 yards and 3 touchdowns before he went on the injured list and wound up injuring a hamstring in the game against the Grey Cup champion Montreal Alouettes. But he will get to come back and play for them next year. Best performance of the season, threw for 302 yards against Toronto in week 8, then led the Rough Riders to a 26-24 win over the Ottawa Red Blacks the following week and threw for another 296 yards, completed the season completing 69.1% of his passes, which led the Rough Riders this past season. And they've got a new head coach coming up there in Regina. And I'm kind of waiting to see where in the world they're going to be televising CFL games down here, as they say, south of the border. I would love to see him see some games down here. Hopefully, he gets to play again. He wears number 8 for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and they have they have there. You've heard of the 12th man.
Oh yeah, down at Bryan College Station, of course.
Yeah. Okay. In Canada, it is the 13th man because you have 12 players on the field.
Hmm. A
And
little bit different than American football.
very much so. And they have a very good mascot up there. His name is Gainer Gopher. It's a gopher.
Uh,
And I was my eye doctor, Richard Creed. Last year, his daughter had a little boy after having three girls. And Elijah got lucky, and I mainly because they were hosting the Grey Cup up there last year, and so I splurged and went to the Riders store, which is their uh, souvenir shop, and let's see if I can find what I'm looking for. Novelties. There we go. Can we get? Let's see. See if I can find this character here that they just adore up there in Canada, in Regina, where the Rough Riders play. They play at Mosaic Stadium. It's a new stadium up there, and hopefully they have not sold him out because I'm not finding anything just yet of our boy Gainer, but I'll find him hopefully. If I don't find him, the stuffed animal, I've got another way. Well, let's put it this way. There is Gainer.
oh yeah,
The
very good, cute.
yeah, the that is the January pin that they have, and they have sold out of his stuffed animal. But Elijah got uh, about an 18-inch, or no, not that big, probably 12-inch Gainer, and he was in his Grey Cup jersey and had Grey Cup 23 on there, not his usual 13 on his
Interesting.
Tigers jersey. But like I say, uh, Mason going to spend another 2 seasons up there in Canada, and that's a good thing. Speaking about that, a former TU quarterback has retired from the CFL. Dane Evans.
Oh, really?
He retired uh, with the finished his career with British Columbia with the Lions, and with the retirement of Bill Blankenship, new head coach up there, who's going to be the quarterback coach and offensive coordinator for the Wassa Rams, Dane Evans.
Good.
Well, he's coming back home.
Back.
He's coming back to the Tulsa area, and he's going to start coaching. And you'll see him patrolling the sidelines for the Wassa Rams next season. Oh, and speaking about that,
Yeah.
speaking about football, we had. Let me get back to Facebook. Find it. I was looking. Might have to. I'm gonna have to search here for a second.
Sure.
Okay. Telco schedule came out for football.
I saw that.
You sent that to me.
Yep.
And that was done here because Tahlequah was selected as the chair for the new district. So that meant Matt Cloud was the athletic director, was in charge of the district meeting.
That's okay. We
Speaking,
we kind of talked a little bit about it before.
yeah. Well, the biggest thing is, uh, it's they're going to start. It's going to be a disadvantage a little bit. They're only going to get to have one scrimmage because they're going to start 0.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to play East Central the last Friday night in August, which is usually either 0 week or the second scrimmage. So this year, Tahlequah has opted just to have one scrimmage against somebody else besides themselves. They'll go to East Central, so they'll play at the East Central at the East Side Sports Complex, just east of the high school there. Then they'll play Sapulpa for the home opener. Then go to Wagner. Then they'll have a week off before they start the district season. So, but we'll get that pulled up next week, and we'll go over that thing. I thought I could get to it real quick, but I couldn't. But we'll get that, and we'll kind of gnaw on what the Tigers' schedule looks like for the upcoming 2024 season under head coach Brad Gilbert, and we'll talk a little more about how the districts will look. Hopefully by Friday, I'll have at least A and B up, even though we don't have anybody in Cherokee County in there, but we got about 3 schools around the area that does play in that classification. So we'll kind of touch on them a little bit. In fact, more than that, probably around 5 if you add Oaks and Watts in there. That's I know OK, Braggs, and Oaktaw, they play coming up in well, at least well, Oaktaw is 2A. I'll take them back. So OK and Braggs will play in Class A. So that's about what we've got covered this week on this edition. So we'll try to figure out somewhere to do the podcast. We'll do it on Tuesday this week since Randy's going to get back on that whatever Delta plane comes out of Tulsa back to Western hub for Delta Airlines, which is Salt Lake City. But it'd be good to have you back in terra firma.
I am ready to be home for a few days, Jim. Missing everybody.
It's not only missing everybody, but you're missing that grandson.
Oh man, he's who I'm missing the most. Him and the daughter, but I think he's got a big weekend planned for me already, from what I'm hearing.
In the words of my late friend Willie Epps, spank.
Yeah, for sure.
He's let's put it this way. I like to use this old foghorn leghornism. You're going to be busier than a centipede at a toe counting contest.
Sure am. And I'm going to love every minute of it.
Yeah. Other than meeting with your bandmates there at OU.
Yeah.
By the way, too, speaking about music.
Yeah.
Check out that music store while you're in town.
Oh, I'd love to.
I'm
glad you reminded me.
Corner of South Muskogee and Choctaw. The old
I'll have to go in and check that out for sure.
Parker Motor Company building.
I'm going to be visiting with Susie Charbonneau, my CPA, and got some stuff she's helping me with. A couple of clients that she's helping me with, and she's just right around the block over there by our friend Freddie Farrell's place. So,
oh no, not the man known as Freddie the Freeloader.
Yeah, yep, sure enough, she's right next door to him. So,
oh no.
So it'll be a perfect time for me after I get done visiting with her to pop right over to that
When's
music
your
store.
appointment with her
1 o'clock
on what day?
on Tuesday.
On Tuesday?
Yeah,
Okay.
so we'll record the podcast, and then I'll go see her, and then I'll run over to check out the music store before I go pick the the grandson up from
Yep.
Greenwood.
Yeah, there you go. Well, yeah, get done with him and get done with her and might try to meet you over there at that
That'd be fun.
at Zomad at corner of Choctaw and Muskogee, and you can check out some of their drum stuff. I know you.
Yeah, heck yeah. Definitely wanting to check out some of their drum stuff. And speaking of bands, one of the things I'm going to be I mentioned spending the Monday over in Bentonville, actually
Mhm,
doing a photo shoot for a band that I represent,
mhm,
getting them in line to possibly do a music video for one of their new songs and
mhm,
trying to get them some playing gigs out on the West Coast out here, out my way, and even
mhm.
further west, out in LA. So they got some really cute stuff, and I think they could make a go of it.
Well, that's the reason why you're coming home, and not only
Yep.
for the Pride stuff, for the Pride of Oklahoma, but also for RDG Communications. And congratulations on your award you got the other day.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we were honored from North America Business Magazine, named the best independent public relations company on the Western United States for
That's something
2023. So,
something to hang your hat on there.
I mean, I'll tell you, it's sitting proudly on our shelf here with some of our others, but that one's front and center. That's for
Yes.
sure. We were very honored for that one. Had a nice write up in their magazine, and very, very honored for that one.
Well, we'll have to talk a little bit about that next week and try to get a few people around here to, if you need some PR stuff, here's the guy to get a
Love
hold
it.
of.
Love it. Always welcome to do stuff. I've got a client back in Tahlequah, Premier Dentistry, Mark Smith.
Hmm.
Been my dentist for years, and in fact, we may be starting a new campaign. Maybe a little surprise with maybe a well-known face if you're a fan of Stranger Things, and a couple of
Yeah.
shows like that on Netflix may be popping up. We're going to see what we can work out.
Okay. Well, until we talk on Tuesday, that's the end of this week's Cover 4 podcast. And for Randy Gibson, I'm Jim Trickett. We'll see you guys next Tuesday instead of Wednesday this next week. We'll talk a little bit more on the Cover 4 podcast. So long, everybody.